Yes, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. That's me, by the way. I'm going to talk today a little bit about an article that's appeared on one of the BBC channels. This is a thing from an interview done on a thing called BBC Newsbeat. If anybody's heard of that. Well, it's concerning an interview that was done with a female prison officer working at HMP Woodhill. That's where Charles Bronson's been held, as we all know. And this young lady, aged 24, named Megan, she'd been relocated. She was a resident of Yorkshire, and she'd been relocated down to HMP Woodhill. And she's working there. She's been working there since November of last year. Says it's the job that she wants to do because apparently this young lady from the age of 13 was telling her parents that what she really wanted to do was run a prison. In other words, work in a jail. At the age of 13. I mean, come on. At the age of 13, what was I doing? I was reading books. I wanted to be a writer, which I obviously am a writer. Spent 27 years as the feature editor of a newspaper. That was after I escaped from the jails, by the way. But anyway, Megan goes on to extol the pleasures of actually working on the landings at HMP Woodhill. How she tells that the inmates view her as somebody who's there on a caring, compassionate basis. I can imagine that Charles Bronson, who is in Woodhill, would see that. You could see, obviously, this young lady has dedicated her life to helping male prisoners. If my daughter had come to me at the age of 13 and said that's what she wanted to do, I'd think there was something seriously amiss. As I remember it, at the age of 13, my daughter was into things like The Blue Lagoon. That was one of the films that she watched. Dirty Dancing and Grease and Saturday Night Fever and all that, And when she got a little bit older, and about 15 or 16, she quite liked going to see the Chippendales. So my wife actually she didn't go in, she just drove her there. And our daughter went in to watch the Chippendales. I have no idea, I don't really care too much about that. But at least she had a rough idea where she was going. She had she got her idea about her orientation. She certainly didn't talk about running a jail. But anyway, good luck to Megan. She's aged 24. She says she's at the start of her career and she believes that this is going to be a long-term career. And the Home Office are saying, in fact, the Ministry of Justice, they're saying that now the ratio of male to female prisoners in Her Majesty's prisons for men, His Majesty's prisons for men, is 50-50, so it's 50% male, 50% female. When it kicks off, and it will, because they're cramming them into the jails. Talking about building more jails, aren't they? Who are they going to lock into these jails? You and me. That's who they're going to lock into these jails, you and me, yeah? We're the next candidates for that. Because that's what they do, innit? Dream up laws, yeah? Strange laws, and then fine you exorbitant fines. You see, have a look on online. You'll see reports on a daily basis of people being fined £1,000 for doing. Somebody was fined 57 miles an hour on a 50 mile an hour stretch of the motorway. You go down the M6, you've got portions of the motorway that are restricted to 40. Portions of the motorway are restricted to 50. Some of them are restricted to 60. Some of the national speed limit at 70. I mean, if you miss one of these, then you're going to end up with one of these crazy fines, aren't you? It's just a way of putting people off driving and actually robbing the money off the people who can't afford it. Because the people who can afford it, it doesn't really matter, does it? If you're getting £100,000 a week or something like that, whatever you're getting, well, I mean, Boris Johnson charges something like £500,000 or more to give an after-dinner speech. Kind of a carry-on is that? Doctors don't get that for a year. Nurses get a pittance. No wonder they're on strike. Anyway, today's Tales from the Jails is about an article on BBC Newsbeat about a lady called Megan, aged 24, works at HMP Woodhill, says it's absolutely wonderful. She enjoys interacting with the male prisoners, and I'm sure she does. Not the way to run a jail, in my opinion. And now I'm going to read you a poem. Yeah, it's a song dinger, but it's not a song. Somebody called Justin complained about my singing. Said, I like your channel, but I don't like your singing. Well, that's why we have the song dinger, because when you hear that, you grab your goat and run for the hills. Larry's mastered that. So has Paula. Jump straight in the River Clyde. You take the high road, yeah, and I'll take the low road. There we go. Somebody else wants my attention. They can't have it. I'm going to read you a poem now. This is a nice poem. It's by Stevie Smith. It's called Not Waving But Drowning. Pretty much the position I was in when I worked at the prisons. Not waving but driving. Are you ready? Nobody heard him, the dead man, but still he lay moaning. I was much farther out than you thought, not waving but drowning. Poor chap. He always loved larking, and now he's dead. It must have been too cold for him, his heart gave way, they said. Oh no, no, it was too cold always. Still the dead one lay moaning. I was much too far out all my life, and not waving, but drowning. I'm sure that's how many of us feel in today's society. We're not waving, we're drowning. Thank you all for watching Tales from the Jails. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Do like, subscribe and all the rest of it. And don't forget to have a look at my book, folks. It's doing quite well, actually. And I got a note from Sean Atwood, the publisher, said he'd received my manuscript, the second book, and that it had gone to the editors, so it looks like it's on its way. I'll keep you in touch with that. All those of you who have read my book, I highly recommend, by the way, the audiophile book, the audio book. It's really well done, that, by the actor Alan Turton. See you now. This is John G. Sutton, Tales from the Jails.